Woke VTubers progressive. PSA backfires horribly. I have seen the initial clip on Twitter, but I want to see how people absolutely destroy this thing, and I'm gonna call it a thing. You're gonna see in a bit why. Or a video. Yeah, we're gonna look at this. Also, National Men's Health Awareness Month. Shouldn't be international. Anyways, also please consider liking and subscribing. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. And yeah, we're going in. We're going in. I'm incredibly curious how that went wrong.
Hey, what's up guys, Ruff here. So I think all of you are aware that in the VTubing scene there is an enormous amount of virtue signaling and endless posts talking about gender identity, all of those sorts of things. And today we're looking at kind of the terrible evolution of that, where the attempts for clout, attention, whatever it is, evolves into something violent.
It's interesting, right? Because here's a hot take. Since we're having this discussion, there's a lot of VTubers who are misandrists, and it's very, very interesting, right? It's very interesting how many female VTubers are misandrists, but will happily take their majorly male audience's money. It is very interesting to look at that and realize that that a lot of these people are just like, right, they're essentially just grifting so they can farm you for money. That's really it, right? That's really it. Right? At least normal VTubers, you know, they do it by being entertaining. These are openly misandrist, and dudes are still retarded enough to throw money at them. A happy Men's Mental Health Month. Happy Men's Mental Health Month indeed.
Where it's no longer just, here's my message, and confirm what I'm saying. Now we've gotten to the stage where it's like, oh, affirm me or I'll kill you. That is unfortunately where we're at today. But of course, it's the month of June, and it's still National Men's Health Awareness Month. Fellas, take care of yourselves out there. Your health, both physical and mental, definitely matters. But there's other people, especially in the VTubing scene, who have a very different outlook on what June is all about, including this individual here, Sophie, who has fallen into the trap that many small VTubers do in the English scene, where they prioritize virtue signaling over just providing content, because that's the easiest way to get attention, and attention they have received, thanks to this post right here. It's a short one.
It's like, you become a VTuber, right? Right. So you become a VTuber, which is very interesting, right? And you make you being a biological male, which what it is, right? And your identity as a woman, your whole personality, right? It's like the smartest really pretty, but then you click on it and it's just straight up dude. Like, bro is not even trying to sound like a woman. That's what I'm saying, right? That's what I'm saying. A lot of these people, they slap the "I'm a woman now" on their forehead, but they don't actually do anything to be to at least fit in. They don't do the surgery. They don't even sometimes they don't even take hormones. They don't dress feminine. They don't do voice training, so they just sound like a regular dude. And then you're there, yo, that's a man. How could you call me a man? Yeah, you don't pass. Spoiler alert, you don't pass, so people will think you're a dude. Anyways.
We're going to listen to it together, but this is their important PSA for trans rights and Pride Month.
Remember, darlings, always respect trans rights. Because if you don't...
There are no trans rights. What do you want is trans privileges. You want specific privileges for your to support your own delusions. That is what it is. That is what it is. There are no trans rights. Because are you implying that trans people aren't human? Because all the rights that I have and all the rights that all women have, right? They apply to you. Except technically abortion, because, you know, no womb. It never will have womb. Spoiler alert. Ain't happening. Anyways. Spoiler alert. You don't have less rights than anybody else. I don't know where they get this idea. Unless you mean stuffing minors full with hormones, then we have a problem though.
Respect trans rights, there isn't going to be much trans left of you.
That is a threat of violence. That is a threat of violence. This person is essentially saying, affirm my delusions, or I will take your life. Though chances are that they will, you know, take the easy way out first, right? According to those statistics. Anyways, this person reminds me of the influencer acts like a school teacher teaching children about Oh god, you mean Lilitino? Because that's Lilitino. Yeah. The dude who films himself in a women's bathroom or women's restroom.
So basically, their very quick message is, you either affirm my identity or I will kill you. That's not a very progressive message. It sounds a lot like fascism, quite frankly, and these people seem to be very against that, which is not only hypocritical.
No. When we normal people do it, it's fascism. When they do it, it's progressive and what do you call it? Strong and empowering, right?
But just
because right, they can call you a Nazi, and after they call you a Nazi, anything goes, right? Anything goes.
Deranged, quite frankly, and the replies are going just as you would expect.
Getting their ass beat. Tech down. Let us groom children or we'll kill you. The trans community affirm me or die with a loving and tolerant sentiment. I like Lark. Emerald Apple as well.
People are not really buying into the narrative, and they are just tired of this. I think a lot of people have fatigue of not only the virtue signaling, but the violent rhetoric that is so normalized on social media. But of course, they're doing it for the right thing, right? They have the good message, therefore, means to an end, right? They can say whatever they want, and here's the product of that mentality. Now, this post, we get a lot of attention, getting 1,000 likes, nearly 300.
Holy fuck, that is an ass beating. That is an ass whooping. That is literally obliteration. That's absolute obliteration, okay? 290k views, almost, let's say 300k views, right? 1k likes. Probably a large portion, at least 200 quotes. One of those is mine. And 621 replies. Yeah, that backfired hard. That is damn.
100,000 views, but the comment section, as you saw, not going the way they anticipated. This blew up in all the wrong ways, and well, they're responding to some of the comments where someone says, seek help, y'all need it, with 3,000 likes, and the original poster, the VTuber, replies saying, pretty sure therapists would not reach the conclusion you wish they would with LGBTQ plus folk. Now, here's the thing. You can completely ignore all of the LGBTQ plus stuff. Just completely ignore it, because no therapist would support you, or at least a good one would support you sharing violent rhetoric about your identity, where the message is affirm me or die. Okay? No therapist would support this sort of mentality. And, well, after getting absolutely blasted in the replies, they gave the haters what they wanted, I guess, where in this clip they perish themselves. I can speak for myself. I don't want you to perish or anything like that. I just want you to not wish others to have that happen to you if they don't affirm your identity. But with VTubers like this, you know.
That is the joke's right. Anyways, the jokes write themselves. Anyways, no, I don't want that to happen to this person. But the jokes do write themselves here. They write self-awareness, I guess.
Oh, they're on Blue Sky, okay? You knew it. You knew they had a Blue Sky account. And the posts on here are, well, just the way you expect them. A lot of virtue signaling. And it really just kind of shows a slow descent into more and more aggressive and violent rhetoric. So, of course, we have to look at the dual post here, right? They posted this same message on Blue Sky. What was the reception of this on Blue Sky? The insane...
I have a question. What is the purpose of posting this on Blue Sky? Like, people will agree with you on Blue Sky because Blue Sky bans anything that is just slightly opposing Marxism. Like, what is this? Nuh-uh, this isn't working.
Asylum that is known as Blue Sky. Well, a lot less traction because nobody uses Blue Sky except for the absolutely most termly online
Delightful. Delightful. Yes, murder is delightful. Amazing. Amazing situation.
individuals, but the replies are completely different, saying, reminder that this sweet dolly can be intimidating. Yes, shiver me timbers. It's not even that anyone is particularly terrified of this individual. It's more that this sort of...
Call him a man IRL and he'll have a meltdown. He'll be too weak to even touch you. Right? He'll just curl up in a ball and cry. Because these people are so sensitive. Life's tough, get a helmet.
violent rhetoric has been normalized to the point where they feel comfortable sharing it to everyone. But here's another reply saying, not where I thought this was going. Delightful. Well, I'm sure Blue Sky loves violent rhetoric directed towards those who think or feel differently than them online. And here's one last one, quotes that live rent-free in my head. I support trans rights, but I also support trans wrongs because I like it when trans girls are mean to me. Oh.
That's a fetish post. Wow. So, you support delusional men threatening violence on people because you got hard, because you're gay. Okay.
They might be too far gone down here in the replies. But let's look at some of the other virtue signaling. They were celebrating Trans Day of Visibility, saying brandish your flags high.
Kind of funny considering that they're trying to be visible all year long. How about we have a Trans Day of Invisibility because you try to insert yourself anywhere you go.
Grit your teeth, defy fascists, and love each other. Except
ironic considering that you threaten people who don't agree with you with murder. Very loving of you. Anyways.
Of course, if you think differently than this person, then I guess you should cease to exist. And a message they love sharing, we're not going anywhere. Trust me, everyone knows you're not going anywhere because we hear about it every 2 seconds, okay? But you can see defying fascists, right, and loving each other. Very, very ironic, but here's another one. F ICE with we're not going anywhere. I'm not sure where the whole...
Yeah, and I'm not sure where the connection between these two is because last time I checked, they're kicking out illegals, not trans. But, whatever you say, big boy.
Whole ICE thing has any relation to trans people. That's a new one. I guess making it all about themselves here. But yeah, I think that's an interesting little point. There was so much controversy a few months ago about ICE in the VTubing scene. It was like the biggest topic, the most toxic one ever, where everyone was virtue signaling and saying they were never going to stop the fights. But they all did.
They all did. Yeah, nobody's posting about it anymore. They all gave up. It's like, we're never gonna stop the fight. This is wrong. Yada, 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 yada. And then now, not a single word. Remember how a lot of VTubers also virtue signal about, like, Palestine, right? That's gone. A lot of people virtue signal about Ukraine. That's gone. It's like it's kind of hilarious. It's kind of hilarious, right? It's very interesting. All of these are gone. Because you want to know why? Because it doesn't give attention anymore. It doesn't create traction. You won't get the views anymore because it's outdated. There are other things now that people more care about. Spoiler alert! Isn't that funny? Like, isn't that hilarious? The meme is truly real. I support the current thing. What's the current thing actually? Now that I think about it, I don't remember. But it's always I support the current thing.
They all stopped talking about ice because it was just a trendy thing to do, right? It's virtue signaling. The second that it wasn't something that would get you a bunch of likes and attention, they all moved on. Literally every single one of them on both Blue Sky and Twitter. And that shouldn't surprise you at all. But here's another set of virtue signaling. It finally happened. I ran into my first transphobe telling me I'm not a woman. 3 years on HRT, I never thought this day would come. I've never felt more gender affirmed before telling someone to go F themselves for their bigotry. It's posts like this that are really perplexing because it seems like they're having like a euphoric response to being mistreated here that apparently
Is this dude a masochist by any chance? Like, listen, okay? Listen, okay? Listen, okay? Okay, listen. This dude is out here being called not a woman as an insult. And essentially he gets a boner. I don't know if that's literally, but essentially that's the same. He gets euphoric, he gets jumpy, happy, whatever, right? Which is so interesting, okay? That's a masochist, in my opinion. Being insulted and getting like euphoric about it, that is definitely some masochistic tendencies out here. It's also like 3 years on HRT. Your voice still sounds like you're like a man. Wonderful. Great. Yeah, I can bet probably you can clearly tell that this is a dude. Just nobody has pointed it out yet for 3 years. And that's that. That's really that. Anyways, I honestly feel the world would be better if everyone had to go through basic military training. It would make people more resistant to insults at the very least. That is very true, but at the same time, they're essentially just training you to be cannon fodder for war. So I don't know how useful that would be. Like they're doing it here in Germany, right? They want to force military conscription so they can send you into war against Russia eventually. Definitely the plan out here. Interesting.
being misgendered is affirming to them, which kind of goes against the whole narrative of you're with us and affirm us or you die. But also it's like a victim mentality. It's almost like they were elated to have this happen, which is very strange and very sad as well. But of course, I saw this one, kind of unrelated to everything, but this is really the modern audience, ladies and gentlemen. They also said, oh golly, who could have seen this coming? F yourself, Sony. With High Guard shutting down. I guess they're upset that Sony pulled the plug on.
See, the thing is, like, High Guard did fail because they made horrible decisions in the initial release. Not only that, right? And also the game was fucking dog shit. The game was dog shit. It can't compete. Like, High Guard wasn't able to compete with anything that is currently already out. That's why it was shut down. This was not just a, like, the bigots ruined this game. And it's like, no. This game was actual, genuine, just mid. Nobody needed another game like this. There's plenty out there for you to play that are way more successful than whatever this is. Anyways. How's the Invincible question going? I've continued.
High Guard? I mean, what? Of course they would pull the plug. This was an absolute disaster. And this game is shut down. It's no longer active, but I love to see the 4 in-game players. Just with Concord, where there was a similar message on Steam charts here, I'd like to imagine that the 4 people in-game are some of the devs who are being punished for the fail.
Nope. The devs don't play this game. Devs don't play their game. There's a stream out there, I think, of Diablo 4 of a Diablo 4 dev playing Diablo 4. This man hasn't played his own game that he was responsible for developing. We live at a time where game devs don't play their own game. It is outrageous. It is crazy.
Failure of this game and the hundreds of millions of dollars that were wasted. Like, this is their sort of purgatory they're stuck in for a very long time, to repent for all of the money that they wasted from Sony. But again, of course this game shut down. Look at this. This might actually be the hardest flatline of all time. I know it's like, it's done now, right? It's shut down. But the flatline hasn't evolved at all over the course of time. This game was just completely dead on arrival, so of course it would shut down, but this is the modern audience. Please do not pander to them, because they have horrible choices and horrible preferences when it comes to games. But this discussion raises something that is very interesting in both the realm of virtue signaling during the month of June and also the gaming industry, because something has happened that is very interesting. Gaming studios have stopped putting pride flags on their avatars, and here's a list of gaming companies that have not done it this year. And I really couldn't believe it, but we'll watch this quick Asmongold clip where he's going.
They've actually done it? That's so interesting. That is so interesting. That is so interesting, right? That is so interesting. I'm curious. Wait a minute. No shit. Ubisoft did not put it in there. That is so interesting. Bo, you care about the Ocarina of Time remake? Yes, I do. I think this will probably be the greatest Zelda game of all time. I don't think that the 40th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda, right? Apparently a budget out there that's according to leaks, a budget that's gonna put anything that Nintendo's put out in years to shame. Probably what the creator of Zelda truly wanted to do with Ocarina of Time, because as far as I remember, Ocarina of Time wasn't even fully what he wanted to do. Now he might be able to do it. This is gonna be very interesting, right? Because remember, arguably, Ocarina of Time is the best rated game of all time and the most influential game of all time. I do, however, want a mostly faithful remake, right? I don't want the Breath of the Wild slop, thank you.
Through this, and it's pretty amazing. You know, you think there's a lot of virtue signaling, but some has actually been cut down in the gaming industry.
So anyway, what the fuck are you wearing? Nothing, bro. Like, I love rainbows. I like fancy colors, and I like rainbows. Why? Is there something you don't like about it?
I think, like many, maybe the shirt he's been wearing this whole month, it might be seeping into his veins a little bit.
Yeah, right. Some of his takes recently have been, not typically Asmongold. I don't know what's going on here. This man's becoming gay and retarded because of the shirt.
You know, that's why we have the recent Eevee takes that were so controversial. But that's just the theory, just a game theory.
Is this cultural appropriation? Yeah, it is. So gaming studios have stopped putting pride flags on their avatars. Let's look at all of the gaming studios, and we're gonna find out if they've done it or not. No gay. No gay. Bungie. No gay. Zero gay. Blizzard. No gay. It's over, guys. Ubisoft, gay is over. All right, Twitch is gay. Not because of Pride Month, but they've just been gay for like 10 years. EA, okay. No gay. No gay. Nothing's about gay. Apple, no gay. Google, I think that's just the normal rainbow. That's not the gay rainbow. Riot Games, no gay. World of Warcraft, no gay. No gay. Zero
Not
gay.
even Blizzard.
No gay. No more gay. Destiny. Let's try Destiny. Destiny, no gay, no gay.
Well,
Sony,
I mean, that's why their numbers are exploding with the SummerSlam event. But anyways,
no gay. No
that's an
gay.
exaggeration.
Gay is over for Sony. Halo? Is it Halo or Galo? It's Galo.
It's Galo. That's perfect. Yep. Well, they don't have it in the profile though, I'm pretty sure, right? In the right. Usually they make that profile rainbow, but anyways, I guess they're not too scared to do it because of the backlash. You can also right. So you can also tell that they're too scared to actually do anything because the replies are turned off. The replies, limited replies. Isn't that a fun thing? The shirts are making the frogs gay. The shirts are making the Roach King gay.
Right, Xbox, okay.
I have to say, I was actually shocked. I had to check for myself. There's no profile picture for Halo, at least, but of course they still had their June 1st post scheduled and ready to go. Don't worry. Halo is still doing that, much to their dismay.
No gay. League of Legends was gay last year, but no more. This is last year. We're gonna compare it to last year. Disney, no change. Target, no change. Starbucks. Even Starbucks roached out on the gays? Oh, League of Legends. Okay, League of Legends was gay. Is it still gay this year?
Wow. I'm surprised I haven't seen more posts from the usual suspects very mad about this. They complain about just about anything, but these big corporations that they oddly worship and always want validation from, they have definitely changed their tune, and it has fallen on a lot of silence. A lot of the people who are activists and complain about everything, they haven't said anything about this, which I find very interesting, to say the least. But overall, I mean, we went on a bit of a tangent there, but this all goes back to a very unhinged post where we've reached kind of the final stage of this activism where it's affirm me or die. And that is a very concerning and just ridiculous notion to be carrying. This is not blue sky. I think people on Twitter are fed up with this stuff, especially when it takes a violent turn like this.
Everything has been ungayed. All of it is ungayed now.
But yeah, that is the situation, and I guess this person is finding out that people are tired of this. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, consider giving the video a like, consider subscribing, and turning on notifications for daily uploads.
Yeah, that's the end of the video. So, in other words, the things are no longer gay. But we're still threatened with violence if we disagree. Anyways. Wonderful. Amazing. Well, we know for sure that this VTuber will never be relevant in any way, shape, or form, right? Which is very good and makes me very happy at least, so that's a W. But still, we cannot threat people with violence or kill people because they don't affirm your existence. Anyways.